Hi everyone, John here. I messed up today. I forgot to hit record audio on the microphone. And so you're basically going to be getting the webcam audio version today. And that is really tragic because I think we had a really great episode for you guys today. But hopefully you are still able to enjoy this episode. And thank you, as always, for tuning in to the Average Asian Boys podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Average Asian Boys podcast. I'm your host, John, and today we have another special guest here. He's an average boy, but as you can see, he is not quite Asian.
I'm not full Asian.
Yes. So please, everyone, give it up for Eric, my white friend. And so what's interesting here is Eric is actually, he has an Asian wife. And so I wanted to ask you, as a white male, what has it been like to date or to be in a relationship with an Asian female? Because sometimes I feel like when I'm dating Asian females, I feel like I'm too white. For
a little too whitewashed.
Yeah, like that's been like
a little too Western.
Yeah, exactly. That's been like a reoccurring thing. They're always like, "Oh, John, you're the whitest guy I've ever dated."
You haven't met me at all.
Clearly
Fair
not.
Enough.
Yeah.
I've dated multiple kind of different, not racist ethnicities, whatever you want to call them, right?
You've experienced the different colors of the
I like to say taste
you're,
the rainbow.
You're a multicultural man.
I like to say I don't discriminate. You know, I like to say that every woman's beautiful, every man's beautiful, whatever floats your boat, you know.
Which is great. Gives you more options. Except you don't need that. Except you don't need that anymore. You don't need no options anymore.
Options.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, it's I've dated a couple Asian girls of different kind of different flavors of Asian, but also they have just even in the same ethnicity, just completely different personalities. More like Westernized, I'd say, into a little bit less Westernized in different kind of aspects. So I think that definitely the first big thing I get into are the parents. So
you're figuring out what the parents are like.
Well, that, and also I learned really early on, even from like the first Asian girl I've dated,
right?
The key to the girl is always the parents.
You know what? That's kind of true.
Being Asian white, I don't care. It doesn't really matter. If you're a guy coming in there and you don't have the parents, at least they're accepting of your existence.
Yeah, you got to get that parental approval.
Yeah, I skipped. I tried to get the approval for the first couple rounds. Yeah. I'm like sticking with acceptance from now on, and I'll just take it. I can't. It's so hard to get approval, regardless, unless I get that checklist. White guys, Asian guys, I feel there's always going to be that checklist regardless.
Sure. Okay, so you feel like regardless of like the ethnicity, there's always going to be that parent factor.
Exactly.
But I'm guessing like the parent, would you say like the parents have different checklists depending on the person or depending on
I think so. Definitely. Like my current wife, she's Chinese.
Yes.
She was born there but moved here when she was fairly young.
Okay.
Right, so she's not like, I mean, she speaks Mandarin and Cantonese.
Right.
But she went to school here, obviously, kind of thing. But compared to, I've dated a girl where they're like third generation Canadian Chinese.
Okay, so
which
is here for
they've been here for like a fair amount of time. And the difference was quite radical in terms of kind of what they were expecting,
right?
How they treated me on like first glance versus like kind of how they warmed up to me, if they warmed up to me. You know, it really depends.
Yeah.
So I figured that was kind of like the first thing I was like, wow, I'm gonna have to get used to it, because like girls of different, like when I dated a Caucasian girl, for instance, it was mainly like if I called the father sir, give him a really strong hand, you know, like the stuff you see in the rom-coms.
Yeah.
Usually worked.
Yeah,
usually worked, but
you've got the manners.
Yeah, it's kind of like
dress your elders.
Yeah, the table side, like income didn't come up. Where my family was from didn't come up. Where I lived didn't come up. It's kind of like here and there. But I noticed sometimes, like for especially what degree I was in, like what job I was pursuing. You know, dating in college.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm in sciences. What kind of sciences? Doctor? Maybe? Question mark? Is that what you want to hear?
He's okay. Oh, this guy's okay.
And looking at me.
He said the magic word.
I said the magic word, and I think it's like, I thought it was super stereotypical going in, and then I realized every stereotype is based in at least a little bit of truth.
Definitely.
Right?
Hey man,
And-
who doesn't get excited about
Yeah.
like hearing that that the guy that their daughter is seeing
Not
might
a
one
future-
day
not a
might-
future, not a future you have to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be like,
he's probably not some homeless bum living in
Yeah.
a cardboard box.
yeah, no, it's just like there's always like that one kid you kind of give up. You have 3 kids, be like, oh, that one's dated to a
Yeah,
low life.
that's right,
You know,
that's
it's like, so at least he's probably not the low life I have to be worried about. But I think that was like the main first thing, right?
Okay.
But I think just if I have to make like such a general, obviously everyone's specific personality wise, right? But definitely I've dated the difference between maybe a Chinese girl and like a Korean girl, and like, or maybe even there's even subtle differences I find between like different Chinese girls depending on like when they came here, like came here just for like UBC. You know, a lot of them they come here for school versus kind of how
There's
how
definitely
westernized they are.
there's definitely a
exactly.
spectrum of like how westernized they are and how
Yeah, and like
they are.
you look at me, I'm walking into the student, you know, the old sub, not the new sub, like the old sub, you're walking in there and you can see the groups. You can see the lines in the sand. You see which groups that I cannot just walk in there and say hi.
Right, definitely.
As easily.
Those are the same groups that I also cannot just walk in.
Exactly.
And say hi to.
And so I was kind of like, okay, well, the girls I dated obviously are not in those circles, right? And they kind of weren't based on that. But there's definitely girls that kind of take that more seriously and they don't want to like branch out, and then some that do. And obviously the ones that I had were definitely more liberal about that kind of stuff. So I think that also impacted. But other than the parents, definitely the stress on kind of like the education, like the level of education, and
Yeah.
intelligence and knowledge, that kind of thing.
My parents really, really care about like the education too. For
Yeah.
whatever reason. I don't know.
Of the girl, right? Of like whoever you're bringing home is like they just don't want to be dumb. It's like it's not even like a genetic thing or just like a money thing. It's just everything altogether,
Well,
right?
yeah, because I'm always telling them like like the level of schooling that you have isn't a measure of how intelligent or how
Nah,
successful
that's dumb.
you
You can't
will be
you,
one
you,
day.
you can't tell that to parents. They're gonna
No, like
full of it.
they just don't understand that.
Yeah, I think just the kind of family values based in like education were a lot more obvious.
Yeah.
Like just based on the difference, right? But I think for me, kind of my experience with that was like my current wife. It was mainly about like personality synergy, right? And I think like education wise, she's a medical resident. She's definitely, her parents definitely value education a lot.
Do you care about the education personally?
That's an interesting question. I think my answer changed over time. Whereas at the first part, I didn't care at all. And then as I kept going and as I kept putting more time into my own education, like the bachelor degree, CPA, whatever, it became more apparent to me that it's just something that I want to have a common value in. I don't even know if I find it important. It was just kind of thing that my wife actually said the same thing to me. It's like she wouldn't date a guy without a university degree or some kind of it's like if I was a plumber,
Right.
would that be? It's like she just wouldn't date, which is fine. Like everyone has their.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We're not here to discuss if that's right or wrong.
Exactly.
It's
It's just a matter of like it is what it is. But for me,
Yeah.
I think that it's important just to have that commonality. For me, it's not as important as like just you have to be a pharmacist or a doctor or whatever. Not really.
Yeah.
Kind of do whatever makes her happy kind of thing. But I think it used to be kind of like I didn't care at all. So that definitely changed. And I don't know if it was like the Asian part or not. Maybe they were all rubbing off on me. But my own parents shared the same kind of value based on that. So like education and such. So I think it all just like came together and just reinforced that like that's something I want, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So
Sensitive.
I find that it's interesting for me because like I think at the beginning when I started my university career, that would have been something that I cared about more. It's like, oh, I want the person that I'm with to be educated, at least like on a postgraduate. Well, it's not postgrad, bachelor.
Wow.
At least have a bachelor's degree is what.
Fair enough. Okay.
But then I think as more studying I did and more of my experience with the school system, I'm like, you know what, school's it's not
important at all.
Not important. Fuck that shit, you know.
We'll fail together.
yeah, exactly.
It's the second level right there, you know. But
So I started caring less and less about that.
Okay, so I'm definitely the opposite. So
Yes.
it's definitely like to each their own. But I was kind of like I didn't care, and then I started caring. Probably a mixture of different things, but I think those were two main things. I think other than that, I think I went to. I think the culture, like the cultural differences, are definitely family based. I think like it's not even
Very family oriented, right?
very family oriented.
Yeah.
I actually kind of meant like per family basis, like very family oriented, but like just in terms of like Caucasian or whatever versus Asian is kind of depends on their family specific values in terms of like cultural, like how traditional.
And it's not just like their immediate family; it's like their kind of extended family.
Oh, the family doesn't end. I learned the family just keeps going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, I mean, I obviously come from an Asian family,
Yeah.
but I think my situation's been unique because it's only my immediate family that's in Canada.
Yeah.
So I don't really have too much of a connection with my extended family.
Yeah.
So for me, my family is just like my parents and my brother.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then so when I meet an Asian girl and they talk about like all this and that about their extended family, like yeah, you gotta go to some family party here, gotta go to some family party here.
I know
godmother's
exactly
got like
what
some
you mean.
stuff going
Yeah.
on. I didn't even know like Asian families have godmothers. It was just like
uh,
totally new. See, like I sound so white right now.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, I learned some things about like
Yeah.
calling someone an uncle and aunt doesn't mean they're
Right.
actually an uncle and aunt. I sat there,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
You've got how many? I'm just like, it's like call some guy uncle. I'm like, so he's white. So I'm wondering what. I don't want to be insensitive here. I'm just kind
Do I call
of.
him Uncle Smith or what's going on here?
He was one of the whitest guys I've ever seen, and I'm like,
Right.
why are you calling him uncle? The aunt is Chinese.
Yeah.
I can see it. I guess I don't. What do I do?
It's confusing.
It's really confusing. So I felt like that definitely took getting used to, because that's not something I experienced at all with like any other ethnicity, I guess.
Yes.
Just these kind of side bits here and there, but just the overall kind of all those, like, especially when you mentioned the extended family, like all these parties here,
Yeah.
all these parties here.
There's a lot of family parties, huh?
There's a lot of family gatherings, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, so I have to go to all of them.
Yeah, I'm just like, when do I have time for this? Like,
I don't. Especially if I'm driving out. I'm thinking of like one girl in specific, and I'm just like,
Right.
family doesn't really like her. Most of her family was there. Like one of the Asian girls I did. Most of her family was here.
Sure.
And showing up to these family events was a big deal, like a really, really big deal. And I didn't realize. I don't even know if that's like an Asian thing or
Right.
just this specific Asian girls thing.
Sure.
Because it wasn't as key to some of the other Asian girls I've dated. I say that like there's been a lot. There's only been a couple. I don't want to seem like there's been a lot. Just, I love my wife. Anyways, the point is that I think that's the only point that kind of varies in between. And I've never had to experience that with kind of like a non-Asian girl. If that's kind of like the basis that they were going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely been my experience as well. It's just like,
Yeah.
wow, there's a lot of family gatherings
Yeah.
going on. No wonder you're so busy.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, So when you didn't respond, and then later you responded, you were at like Uncle's dinner, and I'm like, oh, it's just some random guy's dinner.
Yeah.
It's not actually. Well, I think that was one of the biggest things for me to overcome, was probably that part, like the cultural difference between having these kind of massive families, having to show your face at like all of them, make yourself known.
You gotta let people that you exist.
Yeah.
You gotta let them know what's up.
There was one point is where whenever I went to the house, I had to say hello to everyone in the house, like sisters, mother, father,
Sounds like
any
a
family. And I'm just like, how do I know where they are? It's like, do I just ring a bell and kind of try to go everywhere?
Well, I'm assuming that your wife would introduce you to.
Oh well, no, this is a different girl. This is a different girl. This is
Okay,
like
your
girlfriend at the time.
The girl that you were seeing, I was assuming that she would introduce you to.
Introduce me, but then like every time I went over, I always had to say hello to everybody.
Wow.
And maybe I'm just insensitive. Maybe I'm just that awkward white guy. But like, so I have to like knock on their door when they're in their room doing. I'm not sure what they're doing.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just to say hello, and I'm just like, maybe that's a family thing. I don't know how like Asian that is per se. I've never had that kind of
Wait,
experience.
so it's just like you're in a house and you're staying in a room?
No, I just went over. Like I just came over. I like drove over just to see her.
Over, yeah. Right.
Just even to pick her up.
Yeah.
So I pick her up, but I actually get out of the car, walk into the house, get in the house, say hi to everyone, regardless of where they are.
Okay.
And get back to the car. I'm just picking her up. I'm not even going inside. I'm not even yet. So I think
That's like a whole trial right there.
exactly, and that was one of the more westernized ones. So I'm like, it's probably a good example of how Western and Asian kind of fuse depending on how long that they've been here, I guess, right? How traditional they are. Whereas another girl was, their family was super into like, feng shui and the number 4 and things like that, which
Yes.
I obviously learned why some apartments don't have level 4.
Yeah, my apartment doesn't have a level 4.
And I didn't understand for the life of me why. So it's definitely like a learning curve.
Yeah.
As a
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no way that you would know these.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So I
someone
come
comes
in,
along.
yeah.
I mean, someone had to
Why?
explain. Someone had to explain that to me too.
it's like, oh, that's death. Oh,
Yeah.
why? It sounds like death. It's like, oh, the Chinese. Oh, okay.
The pronunciation sounds.
It's like, oh, that makes sense. But like, I would have never known that, right? It's not something that comes in when I go to like a white girl's family. It's like, no, it's usually the number 4 is okay.
Yeah, usually they're more worried about the number 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But no, those are like the main things that kind of were the hardest to not overcome, but they were like the hardest to understand to the point where I wouldn't just keep making mistakes. Because I didn't want to like just seem like uncultured swine, you know? I didn't want to come in inexperienced to the point where I'm disrespectful.
Oh yeah, no, I totally know what you mean, because like I remember like I was with one of my girlfriends.
Yeah. One of many. Yes.
One of
at a
the
time.
few. One of the few.
At one time. I won't tell anyone, and you don't tell anyone.
So I was with her family.
Yeah.
And then her mother invited some family friends over or something, and then they had like a tea ceremony of some sort.
Yeah.
And I remember like I had to sit there and help them pour the tea.
Wow.
Like I'm like which is fine.
Do you know how to pour tea?
Without spilling, yes.
It's not easy. I spilled so much tea at dim sum restaurants, you have no idea. Can you
really?
imagine a guy like me walking to a dim sum restaurant, first thing, I see a lady with a cart. This is another big thing. You walk into, it's a weird segue, but whatever, right? You walk into I really like dim sum now.
Yeah.
I'm a big dim sum guy,
Sure.
which is great because my wife's...
You've probably been to dim sum more often than I have.
I don't know if that's true. Maybe.
I've been 4 times in my life.
Oh no, definitely more. But
Yeah.
like even my parents like dim sum.
Sure.
Like they're both white.
Yeah.
So like we come in like as three white, like me and them.
Yeah.
And it's like the novelty. Like my mom likes the cart. My dad likes dumplings. It's a match made in heaven, right?
Yeah.
Little lady comes in with dumplings. Anyways, and I feel like I got that at a younger age, and then I'm just like, oh, dim sum's actually really good. So I go in there.
Got a little training in the dim sum.
I got a little bit of training, and I wasn't even expecting it to be useful. And I'm like, this shit's delicious.
Yes.
Why aren't more white people or brown people or whatever people coming in and eating dim sum all the time? But then when you go in and you look as far as the eye can see, I used to pick out the white people. I used to like pick them out.
Yeah.
Just to see where they put them. It's so funny that you always, every time I go into a dim sum restaurant, it never fails. The white people are always in the corner when no one can see them.
Yeah.
It's just the funniest thing ever. It's just the funniest thing ever. And I'm just like, I just come in and then I'm with like a group,
Yeah.
usually a group of Asian like coworkers or like my wife or something like that. Bring up right there. All right, that's where we're gonna be seated.
Yeah,
Like, I can tell where our seat's gonna be.
Sure.
But that's just kind of like a big cultural kind of experience that I just really loved. I don't know why, it's like food based, but that's like something that
Like a big gathering of people just sharing.
yeah,
food.
exactly. Where like white people definitely do Christmas, Thanksgiving. So like white people definitely do that, but not necessarily in that kind of setting with that kind of environment.
Right.
With like
Or on that scale.
definitely on that scale, yeah, with spinning tables. I know,
Yeah.
seeming like a 5-year-old, a spinning table, spinning tables. So I felt like there were like some pieces that were like a lot easier for me to connect with, and then some I needed to be like dragged through. Like at my wedding, I had the red dress, the tea ceremony, like the Chinese the tea ceremony thing. I got pictures everywhere. The wife wears the red dress.
Yes.
And then there's like a whole bunch of red. I'm always gonna kill me if she sees this. It's like on the red background. It took a long time, and then they got the tea ceremony with the parents, and you give it to the parents, and they drink that.
Okay, so you did that whole shebang
At our place, yeah. I did it at our place. I did the whole thing.
Okay.
And then it was a big deal for her parents, right?
Yes.
Especially her mom. Really big deal.
Right.
And then you could see the look on my parents' face, the confusion on my dad's face, and he could like grab the cup from me. Anyways, it was about an hour of us fumbling through teacups.
Apparently like part of that tradition is you're supposed to knock on a door.
Yeah, we didn't do door games.
That would have been hilarious. Like, you think your parents are confused at the tea ceremony? Wait until you see them, they see you knocking on your own door, asking for permission to come in your house.
No,
that would have been hilarious.
I had to draw the line. So, like, I'm all for like tradition and respecting values, and I get it, but. I kind of have to draw a line somewhere. And tea ceremony, red, everything's good.
Yeah.
But then I heard about oranges and gifts, and I brought gifts. I brought I brought the gifts, But then I heard about the door games, and there's different regional things.
I saw it like happening for the first time. I'm just like, I can't do this.
This is the funniest thing.
I can't do.
Like I'll respect the tradition as much as the next ignorant white guy.
Right.
But
It's okay. You got the white card at least.
I got the white card.
You can play the ignorant white card.
Only up until you're marrying one. Everything's out the window. So like if you don't wear, I wore like a suit. Like I wore like a dress shirt. I didn't wear red. Because apparently the guys.
Did you wear a traditional Chinese?
No.
That would have been cool. I would pay to see photos of that, man.
My friends were there. Her friends were there, and I'm like, I'll give you all of that, but I am not wearing that thing outside or be taking pictures of these things.
Oh man, I would have paid to see one of those.
I love you, but there's gotta be a line. And she was actually really respectful of that. Don't get me wrong. She understood, like, this needs to happen.
Yeah.
We will make it happen. But you'll wear the red, and I'll just be in I'll be in dress attire. I'll be like out in a tie and a dress shirt, and well, just seeing my parents' face, I can really see how far I've come, because 6-7 years before that, I was probably as confused as them.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm slightly less confused than them.
And you're probably spilling tea everywhere.
Oh, I'm actually.
Whereas now,
I'm good at the tea.
You can't be spilling tea at your own tea
I
ceremony.
will never spill
That's probably
tea.
1,000 years of bad luck.
No, that's got to be at least 1,000 years of bad luck.
Yeah, for sure.
So I thought that was an interesting experience. But yeah, I definitely think it's it's less uncommon than you see, I guess, like in your situation when you're going out dating a white girl, or Indian girl, white girl, Latino, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's more crap, tapped on the damn table. Sorry,
that's cool.
It's more. I don't feel it's as, maybe not important, just maybe not as urgent to kind of acclimate to their kind of culture and their background and whatever, just because you could do it over time. Maybe you're not like forced to meet the parents super early.
Right.
Maybe
it's like an optional thing.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's optional.
Because I'm sure every like other like backgrounds have their own.
Oh yeah, especially like East Indian girls.
Right.
If you can, be lucky enough to date one and not, you're going to be kept a secret for a little while or like forever. But you get it's the experience there, and it's kind of like I think whether it's optional or like slow going or whatever. I think for me the thing was most Asian girls always stress kind of some kind of family involvement as soon as possible. Whereas that's not something I experienced with any other race, ethnicity, whatever, right? That's got to be a cultural thing. That can't just be a female thing. That's got to be a cultural thing for sure, because it was like almost 100%.
Yeah, I mean, my previous ex was always asking me like, when was I going to introduce her to my family?
Like, when is it going to happen? Like, when is it going to happen? And I was someone who was very not commitment issues, but I felt like I never want to rush things. I was kind of like,
I'm on the same. I'm on the same boat too. I'm like, let's just make sure we can get along.
We should connect first.
Yeah, like like for me, I think like the benchmark is like maybe 6 months at least.
Yeah, no,
it's like there's no point of me introducing to you if you just like date for a bit and break up. Right?
Exactly.
It's like, what's the point?
Whereas I feel like I think the Asian girls, at least I've dated like kind of the full gamut of very westernized to not that westernized. The full rainbow as they speak, but like the one color, like one end of the color to the other end of the color. But that's always being like a family, friends, lots of FaceTime, lots of recognition, that kind of thing.
And they really care about like what your parents might think of them too. Like they're always asking me, it's like, oh, what do you think your mom will think about me? I'm like, huh? Like I don't know. Like,
well, if she knew you existed, I'll let you know. Yeah. You're my best kept secret for now, so don't worry about it.
Right. But for me, it was actually interesting because I kind of like, again, I was in a very unique situation where I had the opposite thing going on with my ex-girlfriend's parents. Yeah. So one of the girls I dated was Christian.
Oh yeah.
Her family wanted her to date someone who was Christian.
Yeah, you're.
I am not Christian.
You're not on that kind of level.
No.
In any way.
No, I was not ready to hear the good news, the good word,
the good word of the Lord. Oh, I got a good story for you. I got one podcast story for you after.
Yeah. But yeah, so she couldn't tell her parents for like 2 years that we were going out.
Oh man, I remember that one.
That was funny. That was great.
I was there for that time. That was a good time.
And then my previous girlfriend, I actually met her parents one time. We were just playing badminton together, but she didn't tell them that we were dating.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's not awkward.
I had fun playing along. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
That was cool.
We're just friends.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. Just rolling your eyes. Yeah. We're just friends for now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah. So they never found out about my existence either.
Nice. I like
So
it.
yeah, that's well. I recognize that's like a very unusual situation.
Uh-huh.
Whereas,
But that's less religious, not cultural, right? I feel like at some point it's usually like you gotta cross the boundary and be like, okay, well,
I think her reasoning was like because like once like they found out that we were dating, then
Right.
like all her like family members would
Oh,
start
it was just-
asking about me, and like she just didn't want to bother through that
Right.
at that moment.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I gotta understand that. That,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That
but,
makes sense.
but like okay, so for you like going back to the topic of like getting to know our parents, like so
Sure.
for you, do you feel like you would also want to take your time to just like see if you and the girl connect first before you're like, let's go meet the parents or
Yeah.
whatever? Because
No,
that's kind of how I
that's-
roll, you know.
No, that's fair. I think it's kind of like I don't have. You know, a lot of guys have those like date rules. Like do this after this amount of dates. Do this after a certain number of months.
Sure.
A lot of. I feel like it's probably more like. I feel like more females have those rules. Like don't do this before date number whatever. Whereas guys are kind of
Don't
like
bang on the first date.
guys definitely have that rule. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But it's a matter of like. It's just a matter of like gotta work for it a little bit sometimes. But like I feel like. For the parents, usually I'm more on the line of 2-3 months, maybe going in there. But it definitely depends on how fast it goes. Like if you see each other every day,
Yeah.
see each other every week, like see each other every month, it really depends.
It's
right?
true. You got to feel things out.
But I'm definitely like a big advocate of like seeing the parents before you get to know each other at like some kind of basic level to the point where you can at least answer some questions about each other. I hate it when like you bring it to the parents and then they're like. There'll be like these weird scenarios that you're thrown in and that you have to actually test your knowledge about how much you know about like their lovely daughter or whatever. Be like, no fucking idea.
I just met her
I do
yesterday.
not know where she went on vacation last year. I'm sorry, it just didn't come up. It's
Right.
like, have you been to these countries? Like, whatever has been here, blah, 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 blah. It's just like, I feel like I don't want to be caught off guard. I just hate
Right.
being caught off guard in another girl's house. In another scenario, right?
It's not a fun situation, that's for sure.
No, it's not. It's happened to me a couple times. Not even with Asian girls. That's actually like maybe it's just a female thing, but like Asian girls is more prominent.
Right.
At least the ones that I've like that they've wanted to test me. They wanted to see if I could get that A+ first time around. No
Yeah,
pun
so, okay,
intended.
so now you're
Right?
doing your homework first.
Now I'm doing my exactly. They want to make sure that I've done my homework, and I'm just like, we've only been on 3 dates.
Right.
She's cool. I don't know if she's crazy yet. I mean, I don't know if she's.
I mean, I'm sure your daughter's lovely.
Yeah, I'm sure she's a great girl.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I want to marry her tomorrow after date number 3. It's just a matter of like different parents and girls have different expectations, right?
Yes.
So for me, I think that I've tried to keep it to at least, if I have to put a time frame, like 3 to 6 months. Different girls put different amounts of pressure, but I feel like definitely the Asian girls on average have put more pressure to see family, at least parents. Maybe not so much extended family, siblings and stuff like that, but at least parents for sure.
Yeah, the parents is
Yeah.
usually the big one.
Usually the mom. I don't know why. Usually the mom. It might just be like the mom. Oh, sorry, I thought I saw a horse, but it's actually a cat.
Oh, yes.
I'm just like, wow, Richmond's got some interesting things.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's just my pet horse hanging out on the balcony.
like, there's-
no,
there's a horse.
my neighbor's cat likes to visit sometimes. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, it's a cute cat. Yeah,
It
sorry, got distracted there. Right. Family.
Family.
So yeah, it's kind of like I really don't mind it, but at the beginning I was really not down for seeing a girl's family before like 5 or 6 months. As you kind of like said, it's just not something I want to do before I really know the girl and really want to take. I consider that a next step. I don't know if girls agree or disagree, but for me, meeting her parents is definitely something I'll probably end up doing before me bringing her to my parents.
Yeah.
So like there have been a lot more girls. I haven't dated that much. I say it like it's been like 20, 30, 40 girls. My point is that I've definitely brought home less girls than vice versa. Like I've
Yes.
gone to more girls' houses to
Yes.
meet their friends, family, like some kind of engagement with their family than I've brought over. Just because it's like I don't want to give my parents the wrong idea to the point where if I'm bringing a girl over, it's probably really serious,
Of course.
right? And so I know that's probably not the case, and that's been hard for me to grasp it. Like I've only really grasped it with my current wife. I've really come to the realizations like I even had issues also, like the very beginning of the relationship. I wasn't I was super like in a shell. A lot of guys are in a shell. They really don't want to like put themselves out there super early, even with a girl they're dating.
Don't
Right?
play your cards too soon.
You just want to let it marinate. You know, a nice Korean barbecue marinade.
Oh
Right?
yes. Oh yeah. I'm on board with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta get that marinade going.
You gotta get at least 24-hour marinade.
Yes.
In this case, 24 hours was like 6 months. But like my point being is,
I think that's a very reasonable time.
you really gotta let it soak in. I don't know what we were talking about. Oh right, family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got hungry for a second. So as we do as guys. So that's generally my kind of idea. There's really no like time period, but I usually like to let it simmer. Yeah, there's the food coming up again. Let it simmer for at least 4, 5, 6 months before really going over, and that's really where I'm more comfortable.
Yeah. For me, I feel like if I'm introducing someone to my parents, that means it's like kind of taking it to the next level as well.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a girl that I'm seeing seriously.
Do you think it's a male thing? Do you think it's a cultural thing? Do you think it's a gender thing? I don't actually know, because I'm curious, like if most guys just think that way in general versus females, or maybe it's just like cultural plus gender, or like I'm actually genuinely curious, because I've met the majority of guys that I would know feel very similarly, but I don't know if that's a gender thing at all. Maybe it's just a white guy thing. I have no idea.
It could be a mix of both.
Yeah, probably, right?
But I mean, it does seem like it would be a guy thing.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel just more emotionally reserved is just like a trademark of being.
Well, I think we're just like more used to doing things one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay, it's like, okay, we know we like each other now. We'll probably be dating somewhere down the road.
Watch me stumble into the river now that I've taken one step.
Yeah.
Over my next foot.
Yeah, exactly. That's step 2.
Yep. Set a comment about her weight. Yep. I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas like girls are like kind of thinking about everything
Yeah.
at once at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's
the best. That's such
so
a
it's like
weird-
everything's
yeah.
got to happen at once.
No, I've definitely seen that. Like it's a bit of a race at some point. Like you've got a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they have to, like, when you go on a trip and you have to see all the things.
Yeah.
And then you go home, and I'm like, we're not going home unless you really want to go home, and then we just break up, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's definitely something where I don't make the checklist. I just create the checklist as I go and see if I can figure
same
it out.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is a guy thing.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, why bother thinking
Ahead. No, I agree.
when you haven't started the race yet?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's fair. I feel like that's what's it called? I watched this comedian. It's called Bill Burr. I don't know if you've seen Bill Burr's videos.
Mm-hmm.
Really popular, super funny guys. One of you said that guys are essentially capable of sitting and watch. You watch his football, so he took it to football content. Guys are essentially capable of sitting on the couch, thinking about absolutely nothing and yelling at a TV, just like thinking about nothing, being absolutely clueless, like lying on the floor half comatose and being okay. And then women come along and they get so angry because they want to be able to do it, but they can't. They can't stop thinking and stop analyzing and stuff like that. And you know what? There's a little kernel of truth in there. There's especially for my wife and a lot of women that I've dated or even met. I've never met a woman who could just stop thinking. It's kind of like sit down and.
Well, have you heard of the concept of a nothing box?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Men have a nothing box.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it so much.
I know. It's the most important box that we have.
Being dumb is a thrill. You know what?
To be able to turn off our brain, I would say.
Oh, it's so good. It's just, I don't know, weird tangent, but it's
important.
great.
You got to rest up your brain power. You've only got so much brain power.
Yeah.
You got to spend it wisely.
I feel like if that's the one thing that men have evolved over the last thousands of years. Beat the shit out of that saber-toothed tiger for meat, and then turn your brain off.
Right afterwards.
Lay down in your cave. Who needs fire? Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, it's great. So, yeah, nothing box. Very important.
Very important to life.
Yeah. But I think that's like a concept that a lot of females have trouble grasping.
For sure.
Like, how can you just think about nothing? Or apparently it's like, when we're trying to do some conflict resolution with
shouting at each other?
But the females, right? And like they're saying or we're helping them trying to do some problem solving. And they're like, oh yeah, there's a problem. I can't stop thinking about it. And then I feel like a common guy response is,
preach.
Just don't think about it.
Oh my God.
And the problem will go away. And like, what do you mean just stop thinking about it? I can't stop thinking about it.
The amount of argument escalations that started with just don't think about it are so numerous across my relationships.
Right, yeah.
I never ever learn, even with my current wife,
Yeah.
that will, God bless her soul, just
Amen.
fixate on the smallest of detail.
Right.
I'm like, do not let this ruin your like sleepless nights. Like, and I'm just sitting there, I'm looking at them like, I don't understand what the fuss is.
Yeah.
Because I half forgot what you were talking about. But what I remember is there's no reason to stress about this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's really worried about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's tough because you're trying to like you're trying to be helpful. You're trying to walk them through being able to reach a state of peace,
Of zen.
The
Zen is stupidity. As most women would call it. Like, dumbass husband's just laying on the couch doing nothing. It's like, he's being zen right
They're
now.
just like, is he alive or is he zen?
When he's awake or asleep.
Yeah, you can't tell sometimes.
No, it's fair. I definitely have like learned that over the years. It's definitely something that if I could tell my 18-year-old self something, the main thing that would help with women, don't tell them to stop thinking about it.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that girls don't have a nothing a nothing box.
Doesn't
And
exist.
so they don't ever stop thinking
Yep.
about things.
We're gonna get scolded about this later. Get all the women messaging, be like, "What are you talking about, John?
Yeah, wow, no, it's
I
great.
got a big nothing box. Don't you worry about it."
This is awesome. This will really help drive up the viewer engagement.
The female viewership, like
That's-
YouTube, like go up to the podcast. It's like you've got one new female.
That's right. If you have any thoughts and comments about the nothing box, please send an email to a8boyspodcast@gmail.com.
put a comment in the description. We'll be sure to
Let us
revisit
know,
it.
Yeah, let us know what you think, and we'll maybe take a look when we're not hanging out in our nothing box.
That's fair. Do you ever get like suggestions about comments from female viewers?
We actually do get a lot
Really?
of comments from female viewers, which surprises me. I didn't know
Really?
females would watch the average Asian boys podcast.
It's
I'm
fair.
I'm very thankful for the female views
I'm
and
impressed.
the male viewers as well.
We
of
love you
course.
too.
Yes.
We love everyone equally.
Yeah. But I find that I get most of my comments and suggestions from the female viewers actually.
Like, give me some examples.
It's just like, I would love to hear you guys talk about XYZ, or like, hey, like I have some thoughts about what you said regarding, like, sometimes
like further kind of, further kind of.
yeah, like when me and Ray are like debating about certain things, right? Like, should you ask a girl if you can kiss her or not, right? And I'm
that's a good one.
yeah, and I'm on team. Just go for it.
What was Ray on?
He's on team consent, right? You should ask a girl before you want to.
Ooh,
kiss
that's
her and all
tough.
that
I think
stuff.
it's a feel kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just weighing in here as an average boy,
Average Caucasian boy.
Caucasian. Just add something on top of that.
Right. So yeah, we get people chiming in on that kind of stuff, and I think that's super cool and it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's awesome for the engagement
it's awesome for the
and average Asian boys community.
It is.
Yes.
But I think it's very like directed in terms of like improvement points or something like that. It'd be like, or topic suggestions. Like, topic suggestions are huge, right?
Yeah.
Especially for different viewership, just to drive the number up. Because I don't know what women like to listen to.
Yeah, neither do I.
I barely know what men like to listen to.
I mean, I didn't know like this stuff would be interesting to women in the first place.
Really?
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know, because I'm just talking about like my stupid guy experiences and all that stuff. I'm like no woman's gonna want to listen to this.
What's the last female suggestion you've had, comment-wise, on the show?
Well, one of the I can tell you
off the top of your head.
I can tell you like a topic suggestion that
Sure.
we had. I think was like what we would do if we won the lottery, or just like
What would you do if you won the lottery? Did you discuss this already? Is this a fresh one?
we did.
Okay.
We
that's
did.
fair.
Yeah. The conclusion for me was that I had never ever thought about what I would do.
It's not
if
like
I
it's
was
gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've just never thought about
I
it.
also don't buy lottery tickets, so it's not.
I don't buy lottery
It's not
tickets
super
either.
relevant, but it's a good question.
But yeah, it's just like immediately it's like, all right, I'm gonna give half of it to my brother or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then Ray was like, "You're not gonna pay off your place first?" And I'm like, "Oh
Oh,
yeah,
that's a
that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Maybe
No.
maybe
Sell
I
the
should
place,
do that."
use the money, bigger down payment. More
Big brain. Oh, see, again, clearly never thought about these kind of things.
You gotta leverage
I know.
every dollar of that free lottery winnings.
Yeah,
You gotta do it.
the lottery winning that's never gonna happen.
No, that's fair.
Yeah,
No, that's a good point.
yeah. So no lottery for you. You've never like touched that stuff either.
Every time I look at someone winning and I'm like, yeah, I'd rather just buy a beer or something with this like buy. Like, I'd rather use the money instead of trying to like capitalize on future happiness that might not even come. I don't even call it happiness.
Well, I just always think about the statistic like you're more likely to be struck by lightning than to win the lottery, and I'm like,
Now
well,
that would be exciting.
no, I'm like, well, I don't want to be struck by lightning,
Yeah,
so I probably don't
it's not
want
on
to
my
be
bucket
winning the
list.
lottery
It's
either.
not on my bucket list either.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
go to country or so, a specific country or stuff like that. I think the lottery is fine but is a business at the end of the day, and it's not a business that I need to partake in.
It's not a business where they're just trying to give out people money out of their kindness of their heart.
the kindness of the BC Lotto Corp.
Yeah,
Sorry,
exactly.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
For sure.
Right. Okay. Well, here's a question for you. So, in your experience, this is not like a female viewership question. I don't know if females particularly.
I don't
want to
even
hear
know what a
this.
female viewership question is, honestly.
Okay.
But
So, in your experience of all kind of the questions you've been asked, or maybe topics that we talked about the show.
from like our viewers or
Just in general.
Sure.
Just in general.
Sure.
Let's say maybe you came up from themselves, or maybe it was from a viewer or something like that. What has been the most contentious?
Oh.
I'm trying to digging up a little drama, you know?
Well, I mean, when it comes to like things between like what me and Ray, my co-host, talk about, usually it's about like, I think dating is a very contentious topic for the both of us. Like we
That's
just
fair.
have very different thoughts and views on how we would want to approach dating, right?
I mean, I heard the kissing thing already. I already know there's
Yeah.
butting heads there.
Yeah, so there's that. And then we had this great debate where we talk about whether the friend zone exists or not.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one. where we
My
talked a lot
answer is
about-
super easy, but I can see how that would be like a good debate topic.
Yeah, well, what is your answer?
It definitely exists.
Yeah.
There is no.
Yeah,
There is. I've been in it. I've seen other people in it.
I totally agree. I think it does exist.
I know.
I mean, Ray even admits that he's been in a friend zone, and then
Doesn't
he'll go,
exist?
Yeah, and then he
Definitely doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. Like one moment he's talking about like being in a friend zone, and he's like, "Nope, doesn't exist." I'm like, "What are you talking about, bro?" It's like,
Ignorance is bliss, my friend. But
Yeah,
you are
very
so
true.
full of it. No,
that's true.
I totally get it.
Yeah,
No, that makes sense. What about? I'm trying to think of a topic for us here
sure.
that maybe we would have different. Do you have any ideas? Maybe a topic that you haven't discussed that might be a good debate
What-
topic.
Oh, for debating, not
sure.
not off the top of my head right now.
Right. That's
Yeah,
fair.
but I do have this interesting story to tell you that
Sure.
happened to me recently. So as you know, I've been job searching for quite a while now.
Right.
And then so this story starts with me sitting on a toilet.
I love painting the picture. I love when you paint the
You
picture.
really got to do it. You got to paint the picture, especially for like our audio only listeners. You know, they don't get to see the video.
If you haven't seen John's WordPress that he made a very long time ago, like you used to make WordPresses a long time ago, like like
You mean-
about your trip, like your Portugal trip, or like you used to.
You're talking about my blog.
Yeah, I'm talking about the blog. If you haven't checked out the
Yeah.
blog, check out the blog. I don't know how you're gonna get the link. Maybe message John and ask him for the link to that.
I keep forgetting the link to this.
He's got some great stories on there. You really need
It's
to check
the
that
John
out.
Lou Show at
the John Lou Show.
.wordpress.com or
It's-
something.
that sounds
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's a good read. If you're on the toilet or just like on an airplane waiting for a flight, economy class, it's a great read.
Oh, thank you for the plug.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta let people know. Anyway, sorry, continue. I'm painting the
Right.
picture.
Yes. So
John's on the toilet.
I'm
Got
sitting
it.
on a toilet, and then I get this phone call.
Yeah.
Okay, it's from an unknown number.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, it's probably just some like random person trying to
Yeah.
like ask me if I want to like, I don't know, give him money or some shit. So I just didn't pick up.
Yeah.
And then the phone number calls again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this might be actually important. So I picked up the phone while I was still on the toilet.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's always sanitary.
You know, gotta be efficient.
You gotta be efficient.
You do.
You do.
The first thing that I hear from the phone is, "Hello, John, can you hear me?"
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've heard, but that is like a classic scam call
Yeah.
where they are trying to elicit a response from you. They're trying to get you to say yes or something like that.
Right.
So they have your voice recorded, and then they can, I don't know, they can use your voice authorization to
Oh,
do
yeah,
all
okay.
sorts of
I can
stuff.
see that, yeah.
So very classic scam, you know,
Nigerian prince kind of stuff.
yeah, something like that. And then, so immediately I'm like, yo, man, like, this person's trying to scam the shit out of me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking of hanging up already.
Right.
But I'm like, just in case, I'll go along with this.
Okay.
And then so I'm like kind of deflecting, and I'm like, hi, may I ask who I am speaking with?
Mm-hmm.
And then the person's like, oh yeah, I'm from this place about this job role that you applied for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, man, this is a serious phone call. Oh, all right, I gotta get off the toilet right now.
Yeah.
It's like, can I call you back in a minute, please?
Nice.
Yes. So call the person back after I finished my business on the toilet.
As you do.
As I do. And then yeah, I just spoke with them, and you know, I told them that I thought that I was being scammed.
Yeah.
When they called me.
Oh, you just straight up told them.
I
Okay.
told them, yeah,
Okay.
because I wanted to, you know, I wanted to apologize for like my less than
Stellar, less than
my
stellar.
less than
kinda-
stellar first impression.
Fair enough.
It was probably the worst first impression I could have ever given to
On the toilet too.
on the toilet, but they don't know that.
They don't know that part.
Yet. Maybe I don't know.
Potential viewership issues.
Potential,
Got it.
yes. So yeah, they didn't know that. I just told them that I thought I was being scammed, and this is why I was kind of like very kind of, I don't know, brisk with them.
Brisk, that's
Brisk.
the word. Yes.
That is the word.
Got it.
Yes. But yeah, we sorted things out. We chatted
Yeah.
for a bit, and then I went for a job interview.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's the story.
That's great.
Yeah. I almost turned down a potential job opportunity
Man,
because of that.
I'm just surprised you had your phone when you were in the bathroom. Like, I don't...
Isn't that what
No.
people do?
That seems unsanitary. So you just wipe and you just have your phone and you're like texting and you're on the toilet?
No, you wipe after you're...
So why is the phone with you? Do you ever actually answer the phone when you're on the toilet?
No, I've never.
So why do you bring the phone in with you?
To like look at stuff, to like browse while you're doing your
This
business.
is our debate topic right here.
This
So-
is. You've never done this before?
Not once.
I feel like this is like a very common like.
Look,
thing.
okay, if there's an emergency, it could probably wait 5 minutes until I like...
No,
you know.
no, of course. I'm not expecting an emergency of anything when I bring the phone to my toilet. I bring it so I have something to do.
Are you playing like Bejeweled, just like on the toilet?
No, I'm-
how
no,
long
I'm
are
just-
your,
no,
how
I'm-
long are your adventures?
It depends.
Okay. Some like movies on there? Got like Netflix scrolling?
No, sometimes you just there longer than you anticipate. If you know,
Are you maybe there longer than you anticipate because you have your phone with you?
possibly.
Okay. I think we got this correlation
Well,
going.
no. I mean, you never know.
I think I found something. Any of your listeners, if he's not picking up your call, he's probably in the washroom. Okay, that's
very
fair.
true.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, is it unsanitary? Potentially.
Oh, definitely. You have those wipes at least? You know, the alcoholic wipes?
No.
All right. I know when your birthday is. I got you.
I feel like some of our viewers are going to be appalled upon hearing about this.
I'm not attacking you. I'm just making
No,
sure
no,
I
you're- no,
understand the
I'm-
full story.
No. Like I think you're like whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think there's like some people out there who would be like appalled.
I'm
feel like.
not disgusted. Sorry, I just want to make this clear. I'm not disgusted.
I-
I'm just curious.
No, I just think this is like a very normal thing, which is why
I
I'm
know.
fine talking about
You
it.
see, this is probably a good segue. I met John. So I know a fair amount. I've known John for a fair amount of time. Like I've known.
We've
him
known each other for like 10 years now.
It's been about a decade now, right?
Yeah.
Because for like UBC, like right at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been about a decade.
Yeah.
So I consider that a pretty fair amount of time, right? But I met John at UBC in my first year. I think it was my first year, and that's where I met John. What a blossoming friendship.
Yeah, I know. White guy meets Asian guy playing at Mahjong.
Why aren't there more romantic comedies where that's...
We could be the next great duel. We could be the next Rush Hour.
I'm not... Am I really Chris Tucker in this scenario?
Oh yeah, right.
or am I Jackie Chan?
Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong one I'm thinking of. We could be the next Shanghai Nights, Shanghai Noon, whatever, you know. You can be Owen Wilson, I'll be Jackie Chan.
My nose isn't that broken. I don't take offense. I'd just rather be like a Matthew McConaughey. Like, I'd rather just be like, all right.
Yeah,
I don't, but I see what you're saying. Like, Rush Hour. We could be the next Rush Hour. I'm definitely out of a shirt. Chris Tucker's face.
I was not, you know what, it was the beer.
Yeah, blame it on the funnels.
It's giving me some crazy ideas right now.
Blame it on the mango. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I met him, and I don't know why I segued into that, but that's how we met.
I mean, I thought it was a cool story.
That was a pretty cool story. I had another cool story though that was going into that, but that was the main one. So we went at Modern Club. We had plenty of good times. We had plenty of. We had this video of Gangnam Style that went on Facebook. Remember when you? Oh, you don't remember. It's on Facebook.
I'm blanking out right now.
It'll be there forever.
It concerns me that this is on Facebook.
Oh, it's on Facebook. It's
Could you be a little more descriptive about this incident?
Was it your birthday? I don't know if it was your birthday. It might have been. I'll bring it up. You'll definitely remember it when I show you.
Was this at the club?
Yeah, it was in the club. And
Oh, this was
Old Sub.
This was for another friend's birthday. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
okay,
I did the
was it
gun.
Ray's birthday?
No, it was Richard.
Oh, that makes sense.
So yeah, so
That was your birthday.
it was his, no, it was his birthday, and
Yeah.
I just did I rewrote like a birthday song in
Yeah,
the form
yeah,
of
yeah.
Gangnam Style, and I did the dance and everything.
Yeah.
I was a really cool guy back then.
After that moment, and I'm like, this is a guy I want to be friends with.
Oh yeah.
He seems fun at parties,
Nice.
or just in general.
He's not wrong.
I mean,
He's not wrong.
you
about
put
that.
a beer in him or 8, you know, he turns all different levels. It's kind of like it's called like Naruto, like Rock Lee. You know, you got the different pathways, but for you it's beer. You just turn on
I'm unleashing my
pathways.
different layers of the chakras. You know.
It's like you go and like all the weight, we drink the beer, all the weight just gets lifted off. You know what I mean? Definitely fun at parties. I mean,
That's how I feel when I'm drinking. I feel like the weight of the world was being lifted off my shoulders.
No, you were definitely a fun time at mine. So John was at my bachelor party, and this was during COVID, so it was very limited. And John was obviously by far the last person to arrive, because let's be real. If
What do you mean, obviously by far. What are you talking about?
If anyone knows John to any real extent, is that his parents have a very nice area in the middle of nowhere. So
It's not in the middle of nowhere.
okay. Anyways, my point is that John has a habit of sometimes arriving slightly later because he relies on something called transit. And transit is not known for getting someone from point A to point B at any amount of.
You'd be
reasonable
surprised. There are a
time.
lot of people out there with automobiles that
The
are
point
like
is-
late all the
The
time.
point is, I think John just straight up missed the address, walked to the wrong building because there's 2 buildings next to each other. Walked to the wrong
it was
building.
a bit of a journey.
It was a bit of a journey.
It was a bit of a
He
journey.
came, he brought Sleemans, it was a fun time. We played poker. John's really good at poker. By good, I mean like, you could tell exactly what he has by looking at his face.
Shh! Don't give it away.
When he gets the Asian flush, like, no, he never has a good hand.
People
Raise!
People are gonna learn my secret.
Raise! John has nothing.
Yeah.
I have something!
Fuck.
What do you have? Pair. He has nothing!
Poker's a hard game. What can I say?
That was fun. That was a really fun party. But like, it's because it was COVID, right? So we couldn't go anywhere. I was kind of like, I tried to reserve patios. Nobody would take a group that size.
Yeah.
There was only like 8 or 10 of us.
Yeah.
But nobody would take a group that size.
I thought it was pretty fun, all things considered.
It was. I had a great time.
I had a blast.
We went. We played board games. We played poker. We had sushi garden. Embarrassing stories. One specific one that I'm not going to repeat because this is a family-friendly channel. But it was a really
It's not a
fun time.
family-friendly channel, but that's
Well, I'm trying to portray it as one. 'Cause,
Sure,
you know,
thank you.
So it was from that point that I realized John was just a overall friendly guy. Just a nice.
You realized I
individual.
was a friendly guy because I was dancing Gangnam Style at my friend's birthday.
You know what? If he's willing to do this for his friend's birthday and willing to make a complete fool of himself and be recorded and put on Facebook, that's what real friends are made out of. Is it not?
Ah, I guess so.
Like, to me, I don't know. When I get lit, maybe it's like a weird segue into a topic, but the later you get in life, the less time you have to like force friendships. You know what I mean? Like the less
course.
time you have to like.
I mean, your bullshit meter is just so much lower too.
It is.
Like, you ain't got time for that shit anymore.
You just like someone is like, oh, if they're not starting any conversation with you in like a year, do I really have to be the one who like messages them on Facebook and says sup for them to say sup back 2 hours later?
Right.
It's just that's the rom-com of the 21st century. You know? That is the real Tinder.
Yeah.
But
it's the true love story right there.
I think it's like a weird. It's like a weird phenomenon that I've had, especially in the last decade or so. Like you have high school, you come into high school, and for the first 2 years at UBC, I mainly hung out with like people from Hamburg. You know, like I sprinkled some other people in there, you know, Marshall Club and such, but
Yeah.
you mostly kind of stick with who you're comfortable with, and you expand to the point you get critical mass. And you can't possibly keep them all hanging, you know what? Maybe you didn't come to critical mass. I can't do a bit of a critical mass.
I just like the terminology that you're throwing out there. You know, like
Look, I was a science major.
I've reached critical mass of
I was-
social networking.
I was a science major.
Not
You're gonna have to
not
take
pretentious
my-
at all. Not.
You're gonna have to take my science terminology.
I get where
in
you.
stride.
I get where you're going though. I get where you're going. I just like the colorful use of the vocab.
It's a matter of like at some point you're just like you can't just keep all these people as like not worthwhile friends, but like friends you connect with on like a regular basis. You know
Of
what I mean?
course, yeah. You can only have so many close friends.
Exactly, and it comes with commonality. It comes with like common interest, talking to each other, similar group of friends. If it's like a group of people,
Yeah, or just being able to like connect instantly, even if we haven't talked in a
yeah.
while.
Like I don't hang out with John every like week, every month, like, every like couple. Like we can talk to each other on Facebook or text or whatever. I think it's usually face. That's just easier for some reason.
Yeah.
But like we could not see each other for 3 months and then go grab a beer or something. And it's just like we haven't we've seen each other like yesterday kind of thing. And that I think that's like the most important thing. And I didn't realize that because when I was younger, I don't know if other people have this issue. I feel like I have to keep everyone as close as possible. Like I feel like I'm gonna be like that loser with no friends. But I kind of, does that make sense? I don't know. It's a weird kind of segue.
I mean,
that,
I was that loser with no friends, so I
well,
can relate.
you've got plenty of friends now. But the point is,
I've reached critical mass.
You reached
as you would
critical
say.
mass, and you know the Big Bang is happening. Stars are exploding. And I like that one.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of like, I feel like that's definitely changed my perception of like what friends are and what, you know, not regular channel dating talk. I know where I'm getting a little off topic here, but I feel like that's very important for like, especially the millennial age group where we kind of came with the rise of like technology and like, you know, not just the dating stuff like Tinder, but just like Facebook.
But we've seen what it was like before.
Exactly, like in '08. Like Facebook has only been out for like 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Like I was there when it was like, I was like a teenager 5-6 years before that or whatever have you. It's like there was no...
And everyone's like, it's like, oh look, everyone's on his website right now called www.facebook.com.
Maybe it was the Facebook. It was Justin Timberlake who made it the Facebook to Facebook. Or whoever he was playing in that movie. I don't know the actual guy's name. Forgot the name. You know Social Network?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know who he was playing.
I want to say his first name is Sean.
I'm just going to say
he founded Napster, that's all I know.
I'm going to say Justin Timberlake changed it from the Facebook to Facebook.
Okay,
people can get mad and that's okay. But I feel that it's such a weird topic to bring up because now with the internet being just so common, everyone has internet. Internet was such a, like, you had dial-up. I had dial-up.
Mm-hmm.
No, kids nowadays.
They don't know what the heck a dial-up is.
And then someone using the phone and my whole shit goes.
Come on, fuck.
Every time my mom picked up the phone, I wanted to yell so loud.
Yeah.
And we didn't get dial-up till later. Like, we didn't have any internet. And then eventually my dad, I kept complaining. And then my mom started complaining. And then he got dial-up, you know? And then, you know, it was kind of a phenomenon. People started getting online, MySpace, Facebook, MSN Messenger. You remember MSN Messenger? That was the shit.
That was the shit.
Oh, good times,
yeah.
Rip. So I feel like it was just one of those scenarios where I was like, oh, you're just making friends much better. It's so much easier to keep in contact, so you feel like you need to keep in contact. And if you haven't talked to someone in like an hour, something's wrong, they're pissed at you. Mm-hmm. They're mad. Something's going on. It's like they're not your friends anymore or whatever. And I feel like it's so weird now thinking back to it. It's like, oh yeah, well now it just doesn't matter. Like if you just don't talk to someone for like a year or two, it's just like...
We're all just busy with our shit now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I feel like that is like the progression of that, of like people caring, especially when they're younger, of like getting this friend group, being included, being part of something, that kind of thing. It becomes less important, I feel, as age comes, as like you get put into these different scenarios so often. Like when you change jobs, you're in a completely different environment, you can make new friends kind of thing. Whereas when you're in school, you're like 5 years with like the same group of people and it's kind of more cliquey and that kind of thing. It's still cliquey outside of life, but I'm just, you know what I mean, right? Mm-hmm. I know, weird segue, but yeah, that's kind of how I met John.
But yeah, it's like, you know, you look back at these friendships that you've had for so many years, right?
Yep.
Like that is something that would be very hard to recreate.
Yeah.
Like we've been friends for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
If I was
that's
to
forever.
Yeah. Like if I was to make friends with someone today,
yeah,
and we were friends for the next 10 years, I'd be 42. And I don't know if I can, yeah, exactly. Like I don't know if I can recreate that kind of long-lasting friendship with people right now anymore.
It's hard. And I think there's just so many distractions that like they bombard you because there's so many like screens and there's so many like people's attention spans are just getting worse and worse as years go by. I feel like every year people's attentions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People just can't seem to concentrate on things anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
On average, you know, people are obviously still how they were before, but I feel like nowadays my attention span is so like, I'm not on Snapchat, I'm not on Instagram, I don't use Facebook a lot. Like I think I mentioned this to you, it's not because I'm like super private, I'm just so lazy. I'm so tired. I don't want to come home and start making up stories and shit like that. Like I don't.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to, you don't got it.
I like to take pictures of like food and experiences, and then I look on my phone. Like I don't need to like have it on Instagram popping up there publicly forever just to make it. It's like the experience you recreate it, show it to my family or whatever, or stuff like that. But I'm just so tired, and it's just I come home. I don't want to sit there and scroll. It's my wife. My wife has that, like Instagram, and that's like a thing for her. She just scrolls, and it's for her. It's a way to release. Like it's a stress reliever for her.
Right.
For me, I would just stress out more. Like looking at other people, like shit. Am I just have a shitty life? Do I just, you know what I mean? It's like you see, like, you know what I mean? It's like see some guy in Italy and like Santorini, stuff like that. I'd be like, am I just poor? I have no time. Is my life really that bad?
I understand like why people like do kind of think that way, but again, for me, like my life has just been, I think, very different. So I like there are like very, very specific things that do give me FOMO. Well, it's a beer talking. There are very specific things that do give me FOMO on social media, but it's very few and far in between, right? It's like I know, like I don't got a lot of stuff going on. Like I don't have a car. I don't got a lot of stuff that most people do. So I've always I have to run my own race. I got to live my own life. I didn't move on until I was 31. So it's like, when I see people doing these things that I don't have, I don't know. I feel like I've kind of already accepted that. Because it was never in my reach in the first place.
You're more like comfortable in your skin. Like
yeah. But the thing that does, like for me, like I think the things that do trigger feelings of FOMO
within you
is when I see couples go on vacation in like another country, because that's like
Santorini.
Because that's like the one experience that has been within reach. Like I've had girlfriends before, but I've never been able to go on a trip with them.
John has had confirmed girlfriends before.
Confirmed.
Single now, but he has experience in case.
That's right. Believe it or not.
Interested.
So yeah, I've never had that experience before, and that was something that was actually within reach.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know you haven't gone on like any trip, or just internationally, or just in general.
Just in general, no trips whatsoever. Because, you know, with as you well know, with Asian girls comes strict Asian parents.
Comes Asian responsibilities.
You try to convince them to let their daughter go on a trip with you, like where you might be, God forbid, staying in a room together. Oh my gosh, the horror.
I've got
the travesty.
I've got a story. That gives me a story. Oh man, that's a good one. So I had one of my exes. I'm not gonna say who. I'm just gonna say one of my exes, not my current wife. One of my exes, Asian girl, Chinese girl. I wanted to visit. So she went away for school, and I wanted to visit her at school. She had like a dorm. It wasn't.
She was at another province, right?
She was at another province. Yeah. No, I've told you about this before. I told you more details probably, but I'm just gonna generalize.
No, of course.
So I went, and I was with this girl. This is about a little bit over a year, and I'm kind of like, at that point, we had a discussion. I'm like, oh, you got into school here. Okay, we're not going to break it off, because that's a big deal. Like when someone goes to school multiple years, they're going out of province and stuff like that. That's a big commitment if you commit to like try long term, long distance, right? But we decided that we'd give it a shot, right? Like there's no reason that we probably can't work it out. It wasn't that far. It wasn't like other side of the country, another continent, that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, we'll give it a shot. And a couple months in, she wanted me to like visit her, and I'm like, no, it's reasonable. Go to a party there, to kind of meet people there, show them I exist. Fair enough, I understand. So I go. I'm looking at going here, and I'm seeing she's got like not a townhouse, but it's like it's not a dorm either. It's like a nice.
It's a nice place.
It's a nice place. Unreasonably nice
for a student.
For a student,
right?
It's a really nice place.
Yes.
You go to UBC. You got those villages.
Does it have multiple floors?
No, but it's very large.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's probably like an 800 square foot. I'm thinking when I was engaged. I had like a little mattress.
You were engaged building.
Yeah, I was engaged.
Okay, no.
Only for a term.
No, because it sounds like you were engaged.
Oh, no.
I wanted to clarify that for our listeners.
No.
You were in a resident. No. You were engaged residence.
No, babe, I was never engaged before.
Well, no, you were.
I was in Walter Gage.
Yes.
I was engaged to Gage.
Yeah. We don't want any.
I don't want any trouble here.
Yeah,
my anniversary
week. No trouble.
Anyways, so she had a large townhouse-esque kind of high-end, like University Village kind of place.
Yeah.
And I think the issue was, she had like a full bed, like a queen size. It was a big bed. Mm-hmm. The point was, I was expecting to just
crash on the bed,
visit her, and crash.
That seems reasonable.
She hasn't slept over. Like we haven't slept in the same bed. Like we've been together over a year, so it's not like we're like newly dating or that kind of thing.
Right.
I was expecting I'd go there, crash in her bed because I don't want to go there and literally like rent a hotel, rent a room in a hotel, and have to go see her for like an hour or two and fly my ass back, right?
Or at the very least, crash on her couch.
Yeah, I'll take the couch.
Yeah.
I don't know if she had a big enough couch. That's not the point. I would have taken the couch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, heck, the floor with some carpeting. I don't know, but.
All right, then.
All right.
Back issues. Anyways, maybe I'm a bit more of a princess than I thought. But the point was that
you were expecting.
I thought it was just expected. Like we've been together a while.
Yeah, that seemed reasonable.
I agreed to this long-term relationship that we would build upon it.
You mean like, long distance?
Long distance.
Yeah.
Long-term, long distance.
Long-term,
at this point, it was
long
both,
distance.
right?
Yes.
And lo and behold, the answer was just no, straight up no, and the answer was definitely like
no, you cannot stay at my place while you were visiting.
Period. While I flew over for like a couple days, like this was like I wasn't even there for that long.
Were you allowed to step foot at her place?
I don't even know. I
never found out.
Never found out. The point was that the reasoning was her dad, probably mom too, but the dad was the big one who got the place for her, rented the place for her. Were just like they got it for her and for nobody else, and nobody can, and that she would feel guilty or she would feel bad, like she's disobeying her parents' wishes. And I'm just like, I just want just a night. I'm just stay the night. Like I'm not planning anything nefarious. I literally just wanted to sleep in the bed, nothing else.
You want to have a place to stay.
Mainly because like I'll pay for the flight. I have no problem. I'll fly over. I'll pay for it, but forcing me out to pay for a hotel.
Yeah, it
seems harsh for a relationship over like a year.
Seems kind of rough,
right?
Yeah.
And I at that point I didn't just like break it off after that, but I'm just saying that was definitely an eye raiser for me.
Yeah, this might be a problem that down the road.
Yeah, that the parents had so much of a grip that was just so invisible yet very visible to me.
Yeah.
And
I've experienced that in my relationships too.
Maybe it's an Asian. I'm not gonna say it's an Asian girl thing, but at that level of that kind of parental involvement, I've only ever seen an Asian girl.
Right. Yeah, you were like really not expecting that.
It really came out of left field.
Right. Because when you told me that story, I just laughed because I'm like, yeah, I've been there, done.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like half crying that like
you're
and I'm just like, I just wanted to lay down. I just wanted to lay down.
Yeah, no, that's kind of crazy to me that like you never even got to step foot in.
No, because I just never flew over because I was just like,
I just didn't even
go. I just didn't even go.
Oh, because you're like, fuck this, I'm not paying to stay at a place.
I just drew like we had a fight. Obviously, it wasn't fun, but I had to draw a line. I could have just bend over and take it. I just couldn't I'm not.
I respect that.
At some point, you're just like, will I fly over to see you? Sure. Where am I going to fly over and then pay? Like I was poor back then. I was still a student back then. I was poor. Like I didn't have like extra money to go fly around and then see you and then fly back, and then Daddy wasn't paying for me to fly over. He didn't even want me near her. And my point is like she was there for school. She was just there for the study or whatever, and I was just very alarmed that was the response.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I think it would have been like expected.
Yeah.
That. I mean, she's allowed to do whatever she wants.
Sure.
But I feel like when you invite someone over to visit you, it's like
fly over.
That's usually you're also kind of, and that you're in a relationship together.
I wasn't expecting full service. I was just expecting a bed.
Yeah, like you just wanted a place to stay.
Yeah, I just wanted to not have to pay for a hotel. That's literally, I didn't have any ulterior motive. I didn't have anything. I just wanted a place to stay.
Of course.
Like I'm coming to visit you. I'm flying over to see you.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're spending your own resources to do that as well.
And I understand the ask. I don't think it's a super unreasonable ask for me to visit.
Yeah.
I
don't think it was unreasonable for you to expect a place to stay.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of what irked me a little bit. I forgot how we segued into that.
Well, I don't know, but I've got another segue for you to end things off, and this is kind of a fun, crazy story to end the podcast. But okay, so with one of my ex-girlfriends,
one of many, yes,
one of the few exes.
John is well experienced, but available.
There was this one time where we were doing the getting a little intimate, right?
Doing the hula hoop,
yes. And then her phone goes off.
Yes.
And she picked it up
during the.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? is going on? Okay, but she took a look.
Oh man,
I think so. The only reason that she picked up was because it was her mother.
that's even worse.
I know.
Oh my god.
I was a very confused man.
Oh, did she tell her like what was going on?
No,
or?
of course not. But what happened was like basically like her mother was calling to say that they're gonna visit her and they're gonna be at a place in like I don't know 5-10 minutes, and she's like, all right, cool. Hangs up to me, tells me, and then so
Hurry up.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, yeah, pretty much like, hurry up.
Man. Are you gonna finish or what?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know if you've ever had to like.
That's a lot of stress and pressure. That doesn't work that way. Do I look like a porn star to you? I don't know how I would respond to that.
You know what was weird? It actually kind of got me excited. Like, the pressure.
Of course it got you excited, you weirdo.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh yeah, no problems. It was, oh man, it was so crazy.
I would be so flustered. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. And then she told me to like go hide somewhere, like
Hide in the closet?
something like that. Why? Because her parents were just dropping by.
Oh yeah, that's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
You're staying for dinner. You're just in the closet. And you're like, I'm hungry.
yeah. No,
She's like,
no, that would have been rough. That would have been rough, man. No, it was just like swinging by, but yeah, I was just like I'm like, first of all, you stopped in the middle to pick up a call.
Yeah.
And then like
the demands are outrageous.
Outrageous.
That's fair.
And then I had to finish before your parents got here, and like, and we had to like, obviously have time to like kind of clean up too, make sure there's like no funny things lying around.
A little bit of cleanup, I understand.
Yeah.
No, that's important. Wow, that's I'm surprised you like went in full force there, and you're just like, all right, challenge accepted.
Yeah, of course. What was I gonna do? Like leave? Hell's no. No, man.
You're already there. I mean,
gotta finish the job.
at least you were at her place.
Yeah.
Could be
Exactly.
worse.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean, like when you were talking about like how much influence like a parents have sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like that reminded me of that story because I've always been like, what just happened?
Just picked it up in the middle, huh? Was
Yeah,
it like on
yeah.
a bedroom? Was it?
I mean, it was like near. It was near her.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like she had to like walk across to another room to like get it.
Sorry, I'm just picturing her walking across to another room and getting it.
Yeah,
She'd be
no.
like, what's...
No, it was just like within arm's reach.
Okay, that's not as bad then.
Yeah, I mean, it's still weird, right?
Still a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Definitely never happened to me.
Yeah.
Phones are usually never near me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I would hope not. Yeah.
Maybe by accident.
Yeah,
But
sure.
usually never.
Yeah, I mean, if you left it there, you left it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like I have a timer or a clock or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little fun story to end this episode.
It's a very fun story.
It is.
So
Yeah, so
remember
once again,
that
I
one.
want to thank our special guest, Eric, for coming on today.
Happy to be here.
Give the white man perspective on
I hope I'm
dating.
not. I hope I'm not representing my
No,
people here.
No, this is obviously like his personal experience, right?
Please keep in mind this is my personal. I don't speak for every guy,
very
white
personal
or not
experience.
white. All relationships have good pros and cons. Just want to be very clear.
Yeah, there's a whole wide spectrum out there.
It's a whole wide world. If there's one comment I can make,
some commonalities perhaps, but yes, go ahead.
have no restrictions in life.
There you go.
There's no point. Life is too short to have restrictions of that caliber.
And on that note of wisdom, we'll see you next time. Bye!
I'm not waving to anybody.
That's fine. All right, that's the end. Woo!
Damn.
Damn.